colleagues and friends, it is my distinct honor to stand in view here today in Beijing, China, and deliver the address on the international perspective of the current states and prospects of the clinical engineering profession. While I'm here in Beijing, China, I will be amiss if I will not bring up, for any excuse, my favorite state of Texas, where the largest medical center and the space center located, where biomedical engineering research, clinicians, administrators, and engineers are working hand in hand on finding out new solutions to all the existing problem in the healthcare delivery system. So today, what I would like to be able to do in the time that I have is to look at what is the global health perspective is all about, what are the changes that have been made recently, what is the specific state of clinical engineering globally and HTM, health technology management, since we are identifying our field sometime with those two names, and ask the question, are we teaching the right skills that are required in order to enter a successful career in the field of clinical engineering in the future? And then we look at some future perspectives and conclusions. I'm sure that you will enjoy it as much as I am, because I'm going to have fun doing this presentation. You know, in the modern world, we share global concern for environmental health, for issues like infection epidemics, the Zika, for example, and about the scarce ability to find resources to improve and build healthcare capacity. So those jointly shared global issues can be addressed better by having collaboration and understanding of how technology-based tools can be developed, applied, and implemented from different skills and knowledge-based centers around the world. To improve access and services and to impact patient outcomes in a positive way, we must have this multidisciplinary tasks input. We must have multicultural input, and therefore we are setting the stage for better prospect for a much improved outcome. It is estimated that there are 1 billion people as we speak here today with lack of access to proper care, and that there are about 36 million people die each year from non-communicable disease. Those are like the cardiovascular, the cancer, and diabetics. I know that there is so much we can do, and we can do it better if we do it together. So I would like to see that we continue the trend of collaboration, just as we are setting up to do today. The World Health Organization set up the objective that it is attainable by all people at the highest possible level of health. And to do that, we have to understand what this global health is all about, and how can we get the area of studies of statistics, epidemics, trends, as well as technological tools be in the same room, so we can identify how to best use scarce resources. We as clinical engineers must find a seat at the table with all the policy decision makers. And as you can see, that when the resource scarcity and the situation often are that there is insufficient resource to satisfy all needs and wants, there is no choice but to find out how can we do it together with better solutions. Clinical engineers need to be in a situation where they appreciate their responsibility, what I call the stewardship, the accountability to be able to deliver better care with the capacity that we have. Change is the new normal. Is the new normal in healthcare as well as anywhere else in our lifestyle. Stakeholders are seeking more effective, more safe, more efficient, more equitable care, creating major shift in clinical and operation models. And as the technology value is continuously growing, so is the need for competent clinical engineer. There is a need for better planning, and there is a need for understanding the total life cycle of technology, from the concept, from the idea, manufacturing, assessment, implementation, commissioning, maintenance services, upgrade and obsolescence, all the way with the appropriate risk management, and see to it that we reduce the exposure to unsafe technology throughout the system and be able to measure system performance, not just device at a time. This is the future of our clinical engineering. The benefit from advances that made through technological innovation and smart application are awesome. If one is looking just in a couple of the recent reports that came about, the one that from a Vision Gain report is saying that the global medical device market, only the device market, will reach close to $400 billion in next year. That's a tremendous size market that even if we don't manage 1% well, there is tremendous waste. 1% of 400 billion is a lot of money. And if you look at the global digital health report, they looked at the market, you can see that that market that consists of the electronic medical record, of the telehealth and mobile health, you can see that that market as well, it is estimated to be about $61 billion today, but within the next few years, it's expected to rise to over $230 billion, a four-time increase in the total value of the assets. Look at the United States only home care services. Home care services today are valued, or in 2012, at about $78 billion, and it's going to be increasing to double that amount just within the next 7 years. So the growth in the value of assets suggests that every single % of waste can be addressed by the proper management, by the skills and ability of teams to work cross-discipline together, by clinical engineers working with pharmacists, with clinicians, with nurses, with administrators, with the Ministry of Health and policy-making decision process. We need to be able to get into those processes and be part of this. Precision medicine and precision engineering is where we are heading. This is not earth-shattering news, it's happening right now. And the vision, unfortunately, that we have is meeting with some reality check that we need to do. The electronic health record, the interoperability, system integration, and the big data clinical analysis are all great vision that would help world population. However, there is a lack of common models. Digital disparity, as the Institute of Medicine report described, and value-based methodology that are not part of the clinical engineering field. We need to move that up the ladder and make sure that we have the ability to address it. We need to do our research, we need to do our study, and we need to join this type of publication with our knowledge. And therefore, we'll be better prepared to lead, manage, and apply the technology in the best optimal way possible. The challenges are large, but so are the solutions. We are having contribution from technology to various clinical processes, from imaging-directed surgery to robotics to trans-gene diagnosis of diseases, and from sensor technology to artificial organ. The list is going on and on and on with how much technology is helping to improve care all over the world. But also, we need to be able to understand how to prioritize the technology. What is bringing more value to the population around us? How to assess it, how to manage them, and how to apply risk management thinking to system, not just a device at a time. And recently, what unfortunately we have to be aware of also is cybersecurity. The privacy and the confidentiality of records are becoming a problem. The containment of operational safety of a mobile device becoming a problem for hackers and other people that don't have good ideas in their head. So what we need to do is to adopt a value-based compass that will guide us. How do we do the technology assessment? How do we do the technology prioritization? How do we learn how to review system and monitor system performance risk and make decisions when risk is not acceptable on a system level, not on a device level? We need to navigate new system approach and therefore bring operation to safe, efficient, and sustainability outcome the best optimal ways we can. You know, about 25 years ago, ACCE became to be a society, American College of Clinical Engineering. One of the first things they did is they came up with a definition, what is clinical engineer? And the definition they came up with, and still acting today, and correct today, is clinical engineer is a professional who supports and advances patient care by applying engineering and management skills to healthcare technology. I'm standing here today in front of you and suggest that we have moved beyond that, and we need to add those letters, words in red to the definition. So it will read that the clinical engineering of today and the future is the professional who supports and advances patient care outcomes by applying engineering and management skills to integrated healthcare technology system over its total life cycle. So the status of global clinical engineering is that we accepted the definition on top and we're moving now to the definition on the bottom. We have other issues that we need to address. What do we call ourselves? I met colleagues who are biomedical engineers that perform jobs like I do. I am myself a clinical engineer. I have other colleagues who call themselves health technology managers, HTM. All these jobs are perfectly right and correct, but in my opinion, they have different scope. And we, on a global stage, need to accept that clinical engineering is our profession, and clinical engineers is our job title. And we can be clinical engineers technicians, we can be clinical engineering manager, director, whatever, but we need to come up with a single definition of what name we call ourselves, so that will increase recognition throughout the world. I highlighted the specific tasks to differentiate between clinical engineers and health technology manager. I don't think that the issue today is to list those tasks as much as to accept that we have a challenge and we have a debate and we need to address it once and for all. The International Federation of Medical and Biological Engineers, IFMBE, is an umbrella organization. It's like the United Nations of biomedical societies. And it estimates they have 120,000 members from 59 different organizations and associations. The EU PESM is the umbrella above IFMBM, contains IFMBM and IOMP. Those two organizations together going into the EU PESM, and the EU PESM is organizing World Congress every 3 years. Within that World Congress we have Health Technology Task Group, HTTG. And this unique task group is an interesting group of people that are committed to provide the skills of the medical physicists, of the biomedical engineers, of the clinical engineers, to work together and be able to assist countries to define their health technology need in general. A perfect example of how the different multidisciplines within the healthcare environment, the medical physicist, the imaging, the radiologist guy, and the biomedical engineering device and system, and the mobility guys can get together and work together. I love to bring up this example and share it with you. So as we look at umbrella organization, and as we look at today as the celebration of global in networking, we have this benefit from networking that allow us to put together across the seas and across the land institution of knowledge, of research, of education, of internship and training that will help bring the next generation up. So I'm significantly excited about this benefit from global network that we have began to put together and are getting stronger and stronger, and today is just a demonstration of how strong it is. To illustrate the point, I am putting this slide up, and this is not an eye examination. This is a list of the success story we collected from around the world. This is a 162 clinical engineering success story from over 90 countries. And those success stories are telling the specific story with evidence of the positive impact of clinical engineering work on patient care outcome, on the delivery of care by the management and services to the technology. So I'm delighted that you cannot read it, because if I have only 1, 2, 3, or 5 success stories, and they will be in big font and you can read it, that means that we don't have enough. But if we have so many and you cannot read it, that makes me very happy, and that's the point I wanted to make with this slide. The success stories were categorized into 6 specific categories: innovation, improve access, health systems, health technology management, safety and quality, and e-technology, the whole area of telemedicine, e-health, mobile health, and virtual connectivity. This is exciting areas, and we will take this material and send it to journals and continue to publish and promote it, so the recognition for clinical engineering profession will continue to increase throughout the year. I'm very proud with the material, and you can find it on the website that is on your right-hand side, as well as the feature of this program. So the demand for complex system management is increasing, the dependence of this system is increasing. There is no surprise that clinical engineering education and skill need to be sustained and built for the future as well. The Institute, which is the IEEE magazine, just came out with a whole issue dedicated to the state of engineering education. And they looked at the different issue of today's high-tech market and what does it mean for engineering, career, and education. And specifically, they look at biomedical engineering and the field of medicine, where they said they need people who understand technologies like automation, computing, diagnostic, imaging, and product safety all combined. And I think that that's where we're going with our education program in the future. Many years ago, when I started the field, I realized that I'm working in a hospital where the physicians are going through credentials. They have their professional licensure. Nurses are going through credentials. Medical physicists are going through credentialing. Every profession in the hospital that I worked with went through credentialing, but somehow clinical engineering do not. So I published an article, The Profession of Clinical Engineering, back in 1988, and I called specifically to the point that as healthcare grows ever more technology intensive and its reliance on technology increases, the clinical engineering role becomes more vital. And if it becomes more vital, then a true profession, a professional advancement and education are expected to be ongoing and validated. And that's why I helped to start the certification program here in China, and I'm happy to say that it's very active and contributing significantly to the competence and the quality of clinical engineering practicing in the field. One of the areas that competent clinical engineers can do is to help understand and diagnose which device, which system provide the best return for the investment. In a resource-limited industry, we need to be able to understand where are the biggest benefit for healthcare from technology use. And clinical engineers are in excellent position to talk to medical providers, to administrative staff, as well as get patients engaged in understanding how those technological tools are incorporated into the system and how is the ability to remove roadblocks so the return on investment is increasing. Today, savvy, well-advanced healthcare providers and the patients as well expect that their device will offer easy use, safe use, and complete integration under safe and private and secure connection. We need to reach that, we're not there yet. If you look at the total technology life cycle circle on the right-hand side, starting there with the concept and the idea, you can see that throughout the development of prototype, clinical trial, and the application, marketing and manufacturing, there is tremendous opportunity for clinical engineering growth in our field. So, advances in the global profession development are evidenced already. And in the book called Clinical Engineering that has been published just a few months ago, there is a whole chapter dedicated to clinical engineering certification and credential programs. And in that chapter, they already identify that the clinical engineering certification program or the process to start it has been recognized in the United States, in Canada, Malaysia, Taiwan, Japan, China, Sweden, Poland, Czech Republic, Italy, Ireland, South Africa, Germany, and the UK. And I bet you that when we will stand here next year celebrating the second Clinical Engineering Day event, we will have more countries added to the list, and nothing will make me more happy than that. There is a big difference between the first electrocardiogram and the infusion pump of today, as far as sophistication. So we need to be competent and have the skill to address those. So if you put it together, and on the left-hand side says, together we can make it better, and putting this together, meaning that we have to have vision, we have to have people, structure, and resources. And I would say that the biggest resource that we need here is people. Educated, competent people would let you develop leadership, will bring you the vision, will help you to set up the structure, and will find how to use resources effectively. So I strongly believe in investing in people. I strongly believe in the clinical engineering field and career, and by putting the quality, safety, availability of technology for the right test, the right patient, the right time, and making it all efficient by controlling the risk and predictably provide resources, you make patient care better, and that is our goal. Recently, the World Health Organization released a book on the left-hand corner up there. It's called Human Resources for Medical Devices. Actually, I don't think that it was released officially yet, but it's have been already reviewed, and it's going to be released in a very short time. It's going to be available on the WHO website. And what they say is that human resources clinical engineering, looking specifically at devices, has some 300 pages of things that need to be done. Tremendous responsibility. But I would add to that health technology policy on the national level. I would add to that the management of financial resources, the technological development of the industry outside healthcare, and the knowledge information sharing tool that we need to be in our field, all need to be put together. And when you put it together and you go through the process and you understand devices and system, then the outcome is going to be much better. And again, next year we're going to stand here, we will have ability to measure and say, here is why we are achieve our celebration, because those are the goals that we reached. So, as I'm closing my presentation, the anticipated outcome is that we understand that we are part of a complex environment of healthcare program that highly dependent on technology. We expect the technology to be up to date, safe, effective, accurate, available, integrated throughout the total life cycle. We understand that we have both regulated technology and off-the-shelf commercial technology working together, and we therefore need to understand the standards that are related to them. And that to achieve that, we have vision, people, structure, and resources, having working together in a global networking and professional education that will continue to evolve. So if we accept the accountability, the stewardship that we should, patient care will be improved, and therefore the conclusion is it's the best time to be in clinical engineering field and in technology in general. So in conclusion, put the S back in conclusion. The growth in world population, in particular in aging part of our population, place strong demand on quality accessibility to safe healthcare services. Innovation, unfortunately with scarce resources and global knowledge sharing, increase the market share of technology, are all market dependence, increased market dependence on technology, and it's an all-time high now. Clinical engineering as a profession is growing in membership, that's why I celebrate today, and demand for special competency will continue to grow. The stewardship, being yourself, held yourself accountable for technology, we are the one that's going to be looking at technology management. We are the one that will make the decisions when risk is sufficiently low and when mitigation to reduce risk and increase safety should be applied. We should be ready to deliver a program where we understand the impact on patient outcome with the ability to select the best value of the alternative. And we must commit, together with the academia, to a lifelong education and to improve curriculum so it addresses professional competency, address leadership and resource management. And by doing this, clinical engineers is going to be in the best position to gain critical participation in the healthcare team that's going to lead global transition into world health services within as well as outside the hospital, the future point of care of world population. On behalf of the patients today and those of tomorrow, I thank you for being clinical engineers, and I'm proud with what you do. Thank you from Beijing, China.